It really doesn't matter what you know about your health if I took everything from my brain, put it into yours, and you still had bad habits in place. Because our habits will dictate what we have in our life and in our health. So it's not so much about what you know, but it's more so about the application of the right steps. So again, don't get me wrong, you need the right steps for you and your health. But also, if you have things that are getting in the way constantly, right? Whether it's scrolling through that phone into the long hours of the night, or whether it is reaching certain foods, or be in a place where maybe it's alcohol, or you can't kick a caffeine habit, like whatever it may be, those are the things that are going to chip away at you and hold you back and be in this like self-destructive loop of where you feel like you're doing a lot, but you're really not making the full progress and the speed that you need to. So that's why I want to be able to show you exactly how to break these bad habits, so to speak, and be able to then get above them so that you're able to then take in the right steps and be able to move through this so much faster, okay? Be able to get to a place where you're sleeping better. You're able to wake up and actually feel normal, not just then, but throughout the entire day. So that work is easy like it used to be. So home, you're showing up like who you really are again, whether that's with your partner, your kids, whatever that may be, you're back because we're able to break these bad habits. So first, why do bad habits happen in the first place? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask that because I'm going to tell you. So essentially, the number one reason that bad habits happen is because we are trying to either protect ourselves or to meet a certain need in a way that isn't actually serving us. Okay, so let's go through this because I think people learn by example a lot better. Cell phone scrolling. Let's talk about that. Okay, that's probably how you ended up here, so I guess that's a good habit. But it's something that can also hinder your sleep, just like this is hindering my screen right now. So when we're thinking about this habit, we do it, right? But why? Why does this happen? Okay, because we're meeting certain needs. We're meeting variety, right? Okay. We are also, in a sense, it's also comfort. Okay. There's going to be these basic human needs, and we'll continue to build on these here because this is very, very important. So you have these basic human needs that will dictate your habits. Okay. And you can meet them in a constructive way or a deconstructive way. So we talked about variety, comfort. Another one is significance. Okay. Another one is love. All right. And then contribution. Okay. These are going to be some of the highest human needs that we have. And every time you are meeting a few of these, okay, really three, that's an addiction. That becomes an addiction. So let's talk about cell phones again. Okay, you have variety. Okay, you're constantly seeking out like new things and fun, right? You may have significance, just like the people who love to comment, by misinterpreting something on social media because they listened to it for 5 seconds, and now they think they said I said this, but I didn't. Okay, they like to feel significant, and then they also feel like they're contributing. Okay, right? It becomes a habit. Okay, and I won't lie, I do this as well on social media. I want to sound cool. I want to comment back, meeting my need for significance and contribution, right? So these are the things you're actually doing. Habits are just vehicles to meet basic human needs, okay? Because think about it, when people pull out their cell phones at, say, dinner or they're around people, like, it seems stupid. But the thing is, they want to have this is the sixth one, this connection, okay? That's another human need. They want to have this sense of connection. But instead of talking to the person next to them, it's easier to do it on their phone. Okay? So habits, bad habits, are just low threshold ways to meet these needs. Okay? So for instance, we talked about cell phones. We could also talk about, certain foods, right? You want to have a sense of comfort. You want to have a sense of variety. Okay? Maybe you eat certain foods that remind you of when you were younger and at home and, having that sense of love or connection. Okay? It's starting to light up all these human needs here. Okay? But it's a low threshold way that also then has a consequence, right? Because when you're going through your phone, like you're, at a table full of people, if you're in your phone trying to make connections with people who like you've never met before in your life, you're losing the connection with the people right in front of you. So it's deconstructing, okay, those relationships and those connections, okay? So identifying what are those needs. So I want you to think of one habit you do not like, okay? You do it, but you don't like it. Is it something you eat? Is it, watching Netflix instead of going on a walk? Is it eating a certain food? Is it being on your phone to a certain time, right? Being up till 1 a.m. instead of going to bed at like 10. What is it for you? Write that down, okay? You can keep that to yourself. You don't need to put it into the comments and tell everyone that your bad habit here. Um, and then ask yourself, what what needs are you meeting here? What are they? Which of these six? Okay. Now, you've identified that. Okay. And there was a reason we're doing this. Because if you don't do this, you're just trying to like, when you try to like replace a habit or do something else, you're trying to like just not do that one habit just through sheer willpower, and then it doesn't work. And then you're beating yourself up and feeling like you failed, or just go into this place where you give into it and you're almost like, here I am again, right? This is why you don't have this level of understanding of human behavior. Because yes, helping people with their sleep, their breathing, their metabolism, like that's what I do all day, every day. But a big part of it is driven by these factors. Because again, I can give you the best plan in the world, remind you of it, send you it weekly. But if we're not really anticipating and recognizing what this is and being able to coach you through and be able to identify what needs you're missing or wanting here, all the efforts are for naught. Okay. And this is why, like, you're probably caught up in many of your patterns and many of your bad habits because of this. So we got a bad habit. You have those needs identified. Now, all you have to now introduce is how else. Okay. Because pause for a moment. This is the number one way to break any bad habit. Okay. It started with identifying what were the needs you're meeting. Okay. Variety, comfort, significance, love, contribution, connection. Then the core question to break out of any bad habit is, how else can I meet these needs? Okay. How else? Again, remember when we thought about the cell phone scrolling? Just talk to the person in front of you. It may not be comfortable, but the thing is, that's how you're going to meet that. Okay. Again, we're thinking about maybe you start to eat cinnamon buns because that gives you comfort, variety, and reminds you of when life was easy and your mom would make cinnamon buns for you. Okay. Speaking with such detailed experience, because I mean, I haven't had a cinnamon bun in a while, but it happens, right? So it's probably been years about it. But the point being is, how else can you meet those needs? A variety, connection, comfort, right? Maybe you can call your mom instead. Maybe talk about cinnamon buns, right? I don't know. Whatever it is, like, how else can you meet those needs? Because we hear all the time, like, yeah, you got to replace a bad habit with a good habit. But, like, the thing is, there's not like a direct antidote to something. It's not like, well, I want to stop scrolling and being up till 1 a.m., so maybe I should do Zumba instead. Okay, you switched a bad habit with probably a slightly better habit. Actually, it's probably worse if you're doing Zumba at 1 a.m. But the thing is, it's not meeting those needs, right? It's not directly meeting those needs in a way that works for you. So, how else can you meet those needs? Okay, what vehicle can you use, right? That will really start to help you break those bad habits. Okay, now here comes like the best part. How can you break bad habits even faster? Because not only are you identifying how else you can get rid of these things or be able to replace them by targeting the core needs, but also you want to habit stack. Okay? This is when you string things together all in one routine. Because as humans, we can only handle so many things at once, right? Like, here's one pen, this is one item. Okay? Now, if I combine it with things, say if I take my Superman and I glue them together, instead of being two separate items, and yes, I have a action hero here. So if you take these together, now it's all one thing, okay? Very rudimentary how I'm explaining this, but think about it like this. You may already do this in many ways, all right? A lot of times people will brush their teeth and they'll do something else, right? Whether they brush their teeth or, comb their hair. Well, that's rather impressive. But the idea is you do things at the same time. You habit stack, okay? So that instead of having these 5 different things you want to do, now it's one different thing, or one same thing, rather. So again, talking about the cinnamon buns, right? Maybe instead of eating the cinnamon buns, you can go out on a walk with someone that, you want to have connection with and spend time in that manner, okay? So instead of going for the cinnamon bun, now we're doing something where you're outside, getting good sunlight, you're getting a little bit of physical activity, you're with someone, you're talking, you're hitting all these things, and you're doing multiple things at the same time there. Okay? So being able to find for you, like, what are those things that you can habit stack? They're going to be best for you based on your needs. What are those for you? That's what you want to combine in, right? Because like we talked about, say with the cell phone and disconnect from that, like, okay, you could talk to someone, right? But like, what are some things you can stack onto that? Could it be talk to them while walking, talk to them while I don't know, what else could you do? Maybe talk to each other while in a hot tub, if sauna or something like that. It really depends on you what that may look like, but being able to really stack those things together will be really, really critical for your success. Okay, so just think of everything you have. How can you rearrange that? Okay, yes, you may need new additional things, which is why you may feel stuck, but just start here. Okay, because once you're able to start to swap out some of these bad habits, it's just like chiseling things away that aren't you, right? And this is really what this whole process is about. Okay, because it's not so much about like coming back into who you are and all of that. Because people will say all the time, like, I just want to get back to how I used to be, the old me. Trust me, you're still there. There's just these things in the way, whether it is a bad habit, whether it is the fatigue, the brain fog. We just got to remove things, okay, one at a time, so that the real you is, it's not coming back. It's just there, right? It's re-emerging, okay? And then you can get back to being, Superman, Superwoman, whoever you best are, all right? So those are the main key pieces, and really put that into practice and really find like what are those limitations for you, okay? Because you only do that by making the decision to do what we talked about and being able to make that change, okay? Because you can only have new results if you make change, and you can only have change if you make a decision, okay? And you can only have a decision if you shift your beliefs of what's possible for you. So take that with you through your days. And if you want more to take you through your days, and if you're someone who is looking to optimize your sleep, your breathing at night, and sleep apnea, of course, that's one of our biggest focuses. Or if that's something you don't have, because this isn't really a direct episode about that, you can always share that with someone that you know, because a lot of people are dealing with this. So go to ochnow.com. I will make this a little bit smaller. ochnow.com/SA freedom. Okay. That is our free video series about everything sleep. I mean, really everything you need to know about sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea, like how this really developed, what's happening at a cellular level, and all those different pieces here. That's going to be at ochnow.com/SA freedom. It's just a series of videos. You don't need to give your email or anything. It is just there waiting for you. And if you're someone who, dealing with a lot of, health challenges, okay, not just sleep apnea, but so many different pieces here that we help people with, right? Sleep issues, fatigue, brain fog, and sleep apnea being a big driver of that, of course. Now, this is for you if, like, really, like, yes, you can change one habit, right? Change one habit, take 21 days. Okay, I got a new habit. But if you really want to know, like, okay, what are the things you can be habit stacking? What are going to be the best important things for you? Okay. And you really have to be in a place where it's not just like, I kind of want to be a little bit better. Okay. Anyone who wanted to be a little bit better never got there because there's always a reason or a challenge that brings us back to being just kind of okay. Good is the enemy of great. And if you want to be great, you want to be back to that level where you're Superman, Superwoman in your life, then I'd be willing to be able to give you some of our time so that we can help you identify what those biggest barriers to you are and be able to help you break through them. Okay. That's going to be at ochnow.com/talk. And this is our 45-minute free evaluation call. Where we're getting clear on your issues, clear on your goals, being able to figure out how to get you from point A to point B so you can get there as quickly as possible, minimizing the hassle and maximizing how much sooner you're able to get back to a full level of life. So go there, fill out a form, pick a day and time, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, so thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.